Hello everyone and welcome to my new video. This is Suzuki Alstare Extreme Racing. Alstar? I don't know how you pronounce that. It looks like Alstare anyway. For the Sega Dreamcast. This, to compare this to the previous racing game, motorcycle racing game that I did, the Ducati debacle, this game is just far superior. That's not to say that it's perfect, because it isn't, but with this game it kind of sets out to be nothing more than a crazy arcade style racing game. There's no real attempt at simulation here whatsoever, and yet still it provides a more enjoyable racing experience than that bloody Ducati game that I did in my last video, which was absolutely awful. Probably the video as well as the damn game. But anyway, this is I enjoy playing this. It's difficult, but it's difficult for the sort of right reasons. You know, if you come flying off the bike in this too many times, you're not going to win the race. Everybody else doesn't randomly come off their bike and in sympathy and just sort of or sit there waiting for you to catch them back up. If you don't do well enough to win the race, you're not going to win the race in this. I mean, as you can see, the AI is quite sneaky. They will stay right behind you. And as you can also see as well, I mean, this isn't, racing on a beach and on dirt tracks on a bike like this would not be advisable in real life. I mean, this is pure arcade fun, and that's what I felt when I played this. I was actually enjoying playing it. It doesn't waste too much time trying to be something that it's not, and it kind of harks back a little bit to the sort of traditional Sega arcade games. I'm not going to suggest that it's anywhere near as good as Manx TT Superbike, which did on the Sega Dreamcast, because it's not. But at the same time, it does have that arcade feeling of fun and ridiculousness, as you saw there, where it flew over the rock just before. It's just enjoyable. It's by Criterion Software, who obviously went on to do bigger and better things, but it has that degree of craziness associated with their racing games. It's in there. What I particularly like as well, you'll notice where the revometer and speedometer are. There's a little gauge that slowly fills up. That gives you an acceleration boost, and that's particularly useful to stop yourself getting beaten up just before the finish line. I used it a little bit there, but you've got to be careful where you use it, because it really does give the bike quite a bit of thrust, and you can easily find yourself heading straight along into a brick wall, into a cliff face or whatever. Like that there, you do need to sort of time your usage of it quite well. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good looking game. It's still not the best looking racing game on the Dreamcast, but I mean, comparing it to the Ducati game, this is far better. If you're looking for a fun motorcycle racing game on the Dreamcast, then you would do a lot worse than checking this out, that's for certain. So yeah, this is Suzuki Alstare, Alstar. I don't even know what that word's supposed to be. I imagine it's some kind of sponsor company or something like that. Extreme racing, and it is extreme as well. And that's the other thing as well that's worth pointing out. The levels are nice and varied. I kind of like the non-realistic environment that they're setting. It just adds a bit of flavour and interest to playing the game. Sometimes it gets a little bit boring racing in ultra realistic environments, because by their very nature they tend to be fairly sort of sterile and uniform. I like racing in sort of odd types of environments. It just adds a bit of interest to the gameplay. And yeah, so before I start descending into an utter chaotic ramble, as if this ramble hasn't been bad enough, I will leave it there. So thank you very much for watching this video, and please stay tuned to my channel for more videos to come.